Hi, my name is Piedad del Carmen Olave Smith. I came to this country when I was 2 years old in 1959, and I am one of 5 children. And we were all born in Colombia, and at home we spoke Spanish until it was time to go to school. And we went to a Catholic school. It was predominantly English. When I started school, I didn't know English at all. There were some other kids who did know English and were from like Cuba or Puerto Rico, and they pretty much helped us through some of the transition. So that was really helpful being with a buddy.
Great. And what do you remember about your experience during the school day with your teachers or classmates when you were learning?
During the day, my favorite time was recess because I got to play. I couldn't jump with the girls because they would sing songs that I didn't know how to sing, but I was able to turn the rope, and from hearing the songs and watching the students, I learned a lot from observing them, and eventually they let me join the game once I became a little more fluent with the songs and the language, but that took time.
And repetition and everything.
Right.
And then during the school day when you went to learn, how did you feel as a student in the desk hearing directions from your teacher?
When we were in the classroom setting, that was probably the most scariest for me because I would hear the teacher say something and I didn't understand what she said, or the nun. And so what I did was I just learned to use my eyes and observing everyone else. Like if she said take out your arithmetic book or your spelling book, we had one of those desks where you lift the lid, and I would really watch the kids around me and see what they were doing. And if she said take out an arithmetic book and it was red, then I knew to find that red book, and then I looked next to me, and if she said turn to a certain page number, which I didn't know what she was saying, I would watch the kids turn to the page and I would find that Spanish number, and I just kind of followed along. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance every morning too. In the morning, I noticed the kids would stand up, put their hand on their heart. I didn't know why they were doing that, so I did that, and I would just mumble through the Pledge of Allegiance, and eventually I learned it. So
sounds like the routine of the day kind of helped you get through, and the more you did it, the more comfortable you felt.
Exactly, yeah. The repetitions it became easier, and I felt comfortable, but new things scared me, so.
Okay. Was there ever a time you felt really uncomfortable or really singled out in class when you were asked to do anything?
There was one time we had a math relay where the first person in the first row had to go up to the chalkboard, and the nun would utter certain things like 14 plus 7, and that stumped me because that was only for me, and every student had a different number they had to come up, an equation.
Oh, it was timed, or you had to race the person
and once
next
you
to you?
solved it, you had to put the chalk down and go back to the back of the line of the chairs because they were in rows.
Okay.
And I just stood there, didn't know what to do, and I remember breaking down and crying.
And was it because you didn't know your facts, or because you couldn't come up with it fast enough in English, or?
I didn't know what she said. I couldn't understand. Like if she said 14 plus 7, and you had to write the number 14, the plus sign, and 7, and then draw the line, and then the answer, put the chalk down and run back.
Okay.
And all I heard was blah, 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 and that made me cry because I failed my team and I failed me. So that was hard.
And was there ever any other people in your class, any students that might have really reached out and helped you understand a little bit better?
Yes, when I started the 2nd grade, because I think I was mastering it a little better by the time I was in 2nd grade, the nuns told my parents to make sure that the kids stay in front of the television, tell them to repeat as much as they can, commercials and so on. And then there was some friends who were from Cuba, and she spoke English really well, better than me. So they put her as my buddy. So we were in all the classes, recess, lunch, even on the bus. And that helped a lot. And she really taught me a lot on how to pronounce things correctly. And before you knew it, I really wanted to learn, so that was the will.
And she was like your translator, or?
She did. She would help me, and she would say, she said this. Like, there was one time I was sick, and I didn't know how to tell the nun I was really sick. So Maricusa, she was from Cuba, and she told the nun that I was sick and I wanted to call my mom, and then she helped me through it.
Did you ever feel like that made you only want to speak Spanish? Like, did you ever think, oh, I'm not going to speak English because my friend speaks Spanish to me?
No, I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be bilingual like her, and I thought if she can do it, then I can probably do it too. And she told me that I could. So I felt confident that she was helping me. And she didn't just speak in Spanish, but she spoke in English and in Spanish. So.
Okay. And how about your brothers and sisters? Did you have to speak English with them or Spanish with them, or was it a mixture?
When we were at home, it was a rule with my parents. Always speak Spanish because they were both from Colombia. And when we were outside playing in the neighborhood with American kids, we spoke English. But I'm really thankful that they made me speak the Spanish because I wouldn't be speaking it today. So I was really thankful my parents enforced that at home.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.